We have to get Bruce into office. We got to get Bruce in there. Nowhere is the communist attack on American society more clear than here in New York State. The radical left, Governor Kathy Hochul, has been very, very bad on crime, a nightmare for crime. She supports New York's disastrous no cash bail law.
Joining me now is the Republican New York gubernatorial candidate, Bruce Blakeman. Bruce, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time this morning. Let's go ahead and start.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you.
Thank you. Let's start with this idea of a debate. I think it would be fantastic to see you up on the debate stage with Kathy Hochul. How soon could we see something like this? Because I think it would be pivotal for voters to hear both sides as they try to make up their mind in this election.
Well, so far we only have one debate scheduled for October 13th. I'm looking forward to it because I want to compare my record of cutting taxes, creating jobs, prosperity in my county. My county is larger than 8 states in population. We have the lowest poverty rate in the state. People are happy, and U.S. News and World Report says it's the safest county in America versus Kathy Hochul's record. We are the most overtaxed state in the United States of America. Our electric bills are 70% higher than the national average, and she is the most pro-criminal governor in the United States of America. So I am very happy to compare my record against hers.
Yeah, absolutely. And President Trump cares about New York State. He cares about New York City. He's made that very clear. How crucial was it to have his support during your campaign?
Well, I'm very honored to have his support. He's been a good friend of an ally of mine for years. But Kathy Hochul wants to make this race about Washington. It's about her lack of leadership. It's about her failures. And it's how I can do a much better job as governor. President Trump didn't raise your taxes in the state of New York. He didn't raise your electric bill 48 times. Kathy Hochul approved of 48 utility rate hikes. So we are 50 in economic outlook. We're at the bottom, 5-0. Of all the states in economic outlook. That's Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul, again, is the worst governor in America.
Yeah. And you might already be pulling some Democrat voters into your camp. The New York Post reporting that prominent Democrat donor Bonnie Engelbart-Lautenberg is going to be holding a fundraiser for you. She previously donated to Governor Hochul's re-election campaign just last July. Are the tides turning in New York?
Well, they're completely turning. Every day I get Democrats who walk up to me and say, I've been a lifelong Democrat. I've never voted Republican in my life. Bruce, I'm voting for you this year. Our party has gone crazy. They've gone too far to the left. It seems like the Communist Party. It doesn't sound like the party of Daniel Patrick Moynihan or even Bill Clinton, for that matter. Yeah. So the fact is that every day people are coming, and they're contributing to my campaign like Bonnie is, and I'm very grateful to have her support. But there are other Democrats. Just yesterday, I talked to a prominent Democrat who was one of Kathy Hochul's biggest supporters, and now they're supporting me because the state is in a death spiral, and people know it, and they want a pilot to pull them out of that death spiral, and I'm that pilot.
Part of this is a Kathy Hochul issue going up directly against her and her policies. But it's also about New York City to a certain extent. There are people here that are fed up, and Zohran Mamdani in some ways failing on so many of his policies, his bungled pied-à-terre rollout, et cetera, setting a stage for you to have more of a runway. Lee Zeldin was pretty close in beating Governor Hochul. Do you think that this whole DSA movement and talk about socialism and comparisons to communism set up a race that is, realistic for you to win? Because like I said, those margins were slim before, and now it seems like you've got a big opening here.
Well, the polls are even better than was reported by Siena because New York State funds the Siena poll, and we all know who runs New York State. Our internal polling and other independent polls have me within the margin of error. This is neck and neck. That's why Kathy Hochul's spending $4 million attacking me this week. But let me tell you something. Kathy Hochul endorsed Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani endorsed her. They are lockstep. Zohran Mamdani is anti-Semitic. He's anti-Christian. He's anti-American, and he has absolutely no idea what he's doing. He's a communist, and he doesn't understand that American values, the Judeo-Christian work principle, capitalism, have made us the greatest country in the world and created more prosperity than any country in the history of the world. And this guy wants to destroy America and bring in a system that's been failed. And Kathy Hochul is a willing participant. I will stop it when I become governor. We will get back to American values. We'll get back to capitalism. We'll create good jobs. We'll make it more affordable for our young people to live here in New York State.
Governor Hochul facing backlash for her recent executive order for that one-year moratorium on large-scale data center build-outs. New York Congressman Mike Lawler was on this program earlier this week. Here's what he said about it. Listen.
When you look at the situation and Kathy Hochul implements a statewide moratorium, what she is saying is don't come here. Go do your business elsewhere, which is why New York State leads the nation in out-migration. It's why it is a terrible place to do business and why people are expanding in Florida and Texas and Tennessee and North Carolina and South Carolina and elsewhere. We have the highest tax burden and the worst business climate. If you want to address these problems, you need to have a coherent economic and energy policy, and that is fundamental if New York is going to prosper moving forward.
And Kathy Hochul is anti-business. She drives people out of the state. That's not good for people that live here, Bruce. And I'm glad that he brought up the energy piece of this, because it reminds me of what she and Cuomo did on energy that raised costs for New Yorkers here. When you ban things, they become more expensive instead of bringing them into the fold and integrating them within the local economy.
Well, it's the green energy scam. Kathy Hochul gives billions of dollars in subsidies to these science projects that produce very little energy. They're very expensive. We're sitting on one of the largest natural gas reserves in the world, and we're not extracting that natural gas. It would increase our supply, which would bring down costs. It would create jobs and prosperity. They're doing it just over the border in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, they're driving around in brand new Cadillac Escalades, and on the New York side of the border, they're driving around in rusted-out 25-year-old pickup trucks. So I agree with Mike Lawler, and the fact of the matter is Kathy Hochul is putting a pause on AI and data centers because she says she needs time to figure it out. Well, Kathy, what have you been doing for 4 years? You've been the governor. This is the fastest growing industry in the world, and you haven't figured it out. I have sat down with the developers and local government, and people are concerned about water supply. These data centers will have their own water recirculation systems. They're worried about energy. These data centers will have their own energy generation plants and will not only produce energy for the data centers, but they will lower the cost of utilities in the host communities by giving them free energy. And the third thing is it will create construction jobs and permanent jobs. That I agree with Mike Lawler 100%. That's why we are 50 out of 50 states in economic outlook, because we are unfriendly to business. We are not creating jobs, and that's why young people are moving out of our state.
New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani seemingly always in the news for these socialist policies that he's rolling out here. But a new poll, Bruce, shows that these progressive policies are not as popular as the Big Apple sort of bubble tries to claim. Almost half of New Yorkers oppose the DSA movement. If you were to win in November, what would you do with Mamdani? Because some say you are the only hope that we have to reverse any of this.
Well, they're absolutely right. I am the only hope. Only the governor can keep a check on the mayor. The governor can do it through the budget process. The city needs approval from the state for many of the things that they do, especially those things that concern their budget. So as governor, I will keep a check on Zohran Mamdani. I will not let him destroy the economy of New York City. I will not let him compete with local family-owned businesses, with city-owned grocery stores. We will roll back congestion pricing, and we will have policies in place that grow our economy and lower homelessness, rather than the homelessness and the drugs that are taking place, drug addiction that's taking place in our city right now by the permissive policies of Zohran Mamdani. He is a communist. He talks about collectivism. We'll get back to capitalism. New York's the financial capital of the world. We want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But businesses are leaving in droves, taking thousands and thousands of jobs with them. We have to stop that hemorrhage, and we got to rebuild our economy. And that means stopping Zohran Mamdani from the policies that are destroying the job creation in our state.
Yeah, and can we talk about the pied-à-terre tax, because that's driving people out too, or making them reconsider whether or not they want to have a second home here or be here at all. A botched rollout, obviously, that's now playing its way through the court system, so that takes a little time. Is there anything that can be done about that? Controlling the budget is a huge portion of this, because Hochul keeps greenlighting the things that he wants to do, but is there anything else that could be done about some of these draconian policies that he's implemented?
Well, yes, we have to stop them. We've got to get back to common sense and good judgment and economic principles that will grow our economy rather than contract our economy. So I will be very forceful in making sure that we roll back things like the pied-à-terre tax. Think about this. Every other state in America is trying to lure high net worth individuals into their state. We are basically asking them to leave. Rich people can go wherever they want. And who gets stuck holding the bag? The middle class. In the last 4 years, we've lost $11 billion in tax revenue from people and businesses who have left our state, and they've taken thousands and thousands of jobs with them. And who does it hurt? The carpenter, the plumber, the electrician, the waiter, the waitress, the bartender, the dry cleaner, the local florist, the dog walker. So we have to end those policies that are killing our economy. And it's not just a tax on rich people. It ends up being a tax on the middle class.
Yeah. Bruce Blakeman, we so appreciate your time this morning. We look forward to watching that debate in October. Thank you so much for being here.